Welcome back to part 2 of our Let's Play Zelda. We are going to go to the second dungeon now. Hopefully this recording works a lot better than the last one that I had, because I was having a really bad syncing issues with the audio and the game itself. I'm not a master recorder. I know there's a shitload of YouTube guys out there who've done this. They have really good technology. They're all armed to the gills with modern stuff, and I know this is an old game. But, bear with me, bear with me while I try to learn this method I'm doing. I don't have a big fancy software that lets me record things. I use, kind of old school equipment, and, it gets me by, but it is old, and, there's probably a billion other better Let's Plays out there, but what the fuck, I don't care. I just want to enjoy this game, kill some enemies, make some talk, and, yeah. So, we're going to the second dungeon. We're gonna go slaughter some of these, what the fuck these guys are, moblins? My brothers used to call them bulldogs and stinky underwear. I don't know where they got that from. But yeah, we're heading to the second dungeon. And, I like Zelda games a lot. I grew up with Zelda. I was a huge Nintendo fanboy. And, I just couldn't get into the later Zelda games. I didn't like them very much. I didn't like him, I didn't like the Skyward Sword. I played that. There's so much backtracking in the old games. And in these games, you just explore a map and then go to the dungeon. There's no talking or filler in between. And a lot of people don't like the filler, or a lot of people like the filler, but I can't stand the filler, I don't want it in my game. I just want a game that's, fighting enemies, exploring dungeons, going through things, doing shit. I don't want to just go grab a jar of pumpkin juice and bring it halfway across the map and on a bird, and I don't know, get a fucking bucket of water to dump on a frog head. Like, what kind of gameplay is that? Just to get through some fire? It's just I can't bear Skyward Sword. I beat the game, but I had to force myself to get through the whole thing, and it was just awful, But anyway. I still play a lot of these old games just for the simplicity of it all. I love the simplicity and, going through these simple dungeons, killing enemies, opening up doors. That's what games should be, They don't need to make them really complex to be fun. I mean, you don't need to have 3D, looking up cliffs and moving little remote control beetles around to do things. I mean, it's okay, but it's just, when you get that complicated, you take the fun out of it, You gotta learn to make things simple but fun. Not a whole lot of gimmicks, but enough to, makes you wonder. Like, Oracle of Ages, I love that game. I love how, in that game, you could go back and you had 2 time periods and shit, and you gotta explore both worlds, and they were different. It was 2D, and the graphics were not the greatest, but, it was simple. I like simple stuff, and call me a simpleton, but that's just me. Now we got these blue assholes, who are much harder to beat, and I probably wouldn't be able to beat them if I didn't have bombs. There we go, got the second boomerang. I used to like the boomerang a lot, and I use it quite a bit to just stun enemies and, knock the shit out of them. Really nice. Oh, those bombs are gonna come in. I need those bombs to beat the boss. I'm gonna keep them with me. And, yeah. I mean, Ocarina of Time was a good Zelda game. I did like it. I liked it a lot. But I still say Link to the Past is the best Zelda. Just simply because, you start the game off and it's raining, and you go into this, the Hyrule Castle and you rescue the fucking princess. Like, that's a way more exciting way to start a game off than herding goats and sheep and then going through a cave to get a sword. You wake up in the middle of the night and Link to the Past, it's raining, you go in the castle and you're fighting men, you're fighting guards, armored soldiers. Like, that'd be like modern day, like going into a police station and, like, fighting police officers and stuff and then escaping with them. I mean, that'd be like, wow, a kid doing that, So, I think A Link to the Past is just a much more exciting game. It is a little repetitive with the dungeons, but I just like dungeons. I like exploring. I don't like lots of dialogue and shit, not too much, just enough to get it right. And, I'm gonna explore a little bit more here and see what I can find. Another old man. The Dongo dislikes smoke. Die. let's go kill Dodongo. Dodongo's like a Triceratops. She looks a lot like a Sarah in A Land Before Time. Like, I always thought that, like, you know, that stuck-up kind of little bitchy Triceratops, Sarah. Like, that's what this boss reminded me of as a kid. I was like, oh, I killed Sarah from A Land Before Time, haha. And boom, got the Triforce, completed that level. That was easy. I could keep playing, I just don't want the game to fuck out of me and this emulator to not work. I want the sound to sync up with what I'm doing, so I'm going to play a little more and then I'm going to stop and see how it is, and keep playing this game, keep collecting things, and making jokes and commentary for the sake of it. This is my first Let's Play ever where I'm trying to get through the whole thing, and I want it to be good, you know? I want to get better at making these things. So, I'm going to stop the game right here, and, yeah, next time we will continue on and maybe make it to Dungeon 3 and collect some rubies.